In the shadow of Pikes Peak, between two concrete walls, a playground awaits drivers from GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. After a weekend of winding and twisting through rural Ohio, we head west to Pikes Peak International Raceway. It's something special to climb the banks of an oval the same way IndyCar and NASCAR did at PPIR 2 decades ago. Instead of rocketing off into NASCAR Turn 3, we'll take a detour in Colorado, heading into a tight, confined infield section that will punish brakes, suspension, and driver. At GridLife Alpine Horizon, this is GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, the 5th round of the 2020 season. Headlights on, elbows up. It's time to go racing for the first time this weekend. 4 15-minute sprint races about to begin at Pikes Peak International Raceway. We've got a 13-driver grid for our first of 4 races this weekend, and we'll roll through them right now. On the front row, it's Andy Smedgard in the number 212 Honda S2000. Justin Kelly with an S2000-powered Scion FRS. He rolls off in second on the outside of the front row in his FRS. Eric Till in third in his 92 Civic Si. Outside of row number 2, Tiffany Kelly in the number 68 Myriad Motorsports S2000. Tom O'Gorman, IMSA driver. He will roll off in 5th. Justin Lee Upham, Sally McNulty, Cox Jornstad, Burt Griffin, and Savannah Little. The rest of the field as we head to the start-finish line. Green flag flies and we're racing. And a great start by Tom O'Gorman, flying through the field as he comes across the start-finish. Was that a jump maybe for O'Gorman? Down towards turn number 1 on the oval. 3 wide with Smedgard in the middle. Up on the high side. That's Justin Kelly. Can he get there? Car on the apron. Oh, that was really dicey. And I think that's O'Gorman dropping to the back of the field. He might already know that there might be a penalty coming, so he's going to head to the back. A big, big mistake. Justin Kelly out in front as they head to turn number 3. Underglow on that car as he rockets off into the 3rd corner and slams on the binders, downshifting for the corner. Up in front, though, that looks like the 117 of Cox, who's found his way out front. I'm not sure if that's where he scored or if he got a jump start or if he was behind everybody, but a wild, chaotic start at Pikes Peak International Raceway. The 117 leads the way down through the infield. Behind him, Justin Kelly in the 86 with no headlights on the car, so he better hope he can see. In 3rd place, there's Eric Till in the 82. Riding in behind, we thought that car would be dominant. He has not been so far this weekend. Through the middle of the infield section, a crazy start, and got Abe Schmucker back in here. Abe, we saw a crazy, crazy launch to the green flag. Tom O'Gorman came rocketing through the field. Chaos and confusion. He dropped to the back, but looks like Stephen Cox going to lead the way through in the 117 in his C5 Corvette.
Lots of really cool cars here in GLTC. Love watching the racing at night. Just really, really special experience.
I was just shocked at how chaotic the start was. I didn't know what was going on. It seemed like there was a lot of confusion around when the green flag was supposed to drive. Oh, look at this. 3 wide for a moment. There's Catil up the outside, passing 2nd place Justin Kelly into the braking zone. Now to driver's right of the C5. 3 wide into turn number 3. Can they do this here at PPIR? 3 wide, no contact. Kelly takes the lead away. Here comes Smedgard to the 212 to the inside as well. Rocketing through the infield. The 117 battling for 2nd spot back, but to the top spot he's going to take the lead. Kelly wide again. What a drive. The C5 leads the way side by side for 2nd behind them.
Really interesting seeing a C5 running. I think that power has been turned down quite a bit to be GLTC legal, but it's the first car we've seen like it in the field for GLTC.
Well, it's certainly performing well. He leads the way with Justin Kelly and Smedgard almost trading paint behind him as they sweep back up onto the oval. Now diving for the bottom. Smedgard to 2nd out of the final corner. Cross the line to complete lap number 2. A wild started for this one in the dark under the lights. You see Justin Kelly dropping back. Is there a problem now for that car? The red underglow. He has dropped very quickly down through the field. He was 4th across the line. Tiffany Kelly up to 3rd. O'Gorman back up to 6th after his jump up through the field at the start. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on out there, but it's like a full moon. I don't see one out there, Abe, but it feels like it.
It's crazy racing. Andy Smedgard running a couple of seconds off his qualifying pace, which could explain his current 2nd position, but it looks like he's battling Cox here for 1st place. Yeah,
Cox is, again, a new driver. This is his first GLTC event. It's all about can you build the trust in your competitors? So far, so good, but look at Smedgard putting pressure on that C5. Will the rear tires hang on here? Big slide through turn number 4 as he comes up over the crest, over the curves, now through 5, 6, and 7, then sweeping back to the right-hander in turn 8, but Smedgard all over the back of that C5 as they come back up onto the oval again to complete their 3rd lap.
Nose to tail coming right onto the main straight here. I'm not sure that Andy's car has the power and torque to make this pass, but we'll see.
He's right there in the slipstream now. In the background, the dark cars of the Myriad Motorsports team slipstreaming, drafting together like NASCAR plate racing off into turn number 1. Cox and Smedgaard battling for the top spot. Who's going to get this one done? We've still got a long way to go. Only 3 minutes in. It feels like it's been an hour. Side by side at the exit of turn 2, but Smedgaard's going to back off, maybe cool the tires down and take another lunge at the C5. Where is his car stronger? Whoa, look at the brakes. That's Tiffany Kelly way up the inside in turn number 3, and she's going to go hard left to try to stay up on the curb, and she loses a ton of ground at corner exit.
Just coming in a little bit hot there. Maybe she saw a gap that looked like it closed pretty quickly.
Eric Cattell, he's dropped way out, down to 12th. I'm not sure if he's even still out on the racetrack. He's a lap down now, so maybe an issue for the 82. But Justin Kelly back up into 3rd place behind Smedgaard as he launches an attack again on the race-leading C5 Corvette driven by Stephen Cox.
Decently fast here, coming back out on the apron and back onto the main straight. Laps going by really quick here. Smedgaard doesn't have a whole lot of time to try and make this pass if he wants to finish first.
Now right on the rear bumper, that's Justin Kelly, the S2000 powered FRS, giving a push maybe to the back of Smedgaard into NASCAR turn 1. Tiffany Kelly has fallen off in the darkness, back to 4th place. Tom O'Gorman rides in 5th, the blue LED strips on top of that car, lighting up like a Tron cycle. Through 1 and 2 though, look at this. Another 3-wide moment for a second, but Cox trying to defend from Smedgaard. He stays driver's left. Big jump over the curb on the inside, hard on the brakes, downshifting, down to 2nd gear. Smedgaard the long way around. Can he carry the speed here? Cox right over the curb on the apex. And he hangs on for now, but Smedgaard going to have overlap into turn 5.
Yep, looks like he's going to get an advantage here coming into the next turn.
And he's going to have the preferred line. He's going to sweep on through. The brake rotors glowing in that car. Cox going to try to cross over, but the tire's going to be hot. Big jump over the curb for Justin Kelly. Side by side through the infield now here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Cox hangs on to 2nd.
Great pass for Smedgaard. Well, I'd be surprised to see him be able to pull away here now that he's been able to make that pass.
We'll see if he can hang on to it now as he comes out of NASCAR turn 4. That's turn 9 here at the road course, trying to stretch a gap. You see about 5 car lengths between them. Justin Kelly without headlights. Hard to see in the mirrors for Andy Smedgaard. That's got to be, or excuse me, for Stephen Cox. That's got to be a huge distraction as they head off into the oval.
Yeah, I don't think very many drivers are expecting to do any night racing here, but that underglow, I'm sure you can see it a little bit, but you'd probably want a little bit more light than that.
And side by side for 2nd place behind him. Smedgaard out in front now by about 15 car lengths. In behind the battle for 2nd, raging into turn number 3, and that's Cox on the inside. He's cleared Justin Kelly once again. Big sweep through turn number 3. Slide for the FRS, trying to get the power down. Can't quite get the overlap.
Great racing here between positions 2 and 3. Justin Kelly is driving well. We'll see if he's able to make this pass on Cox.
He's still sliding the rear end of that car, and I think Cox might be struggling with overheating tires after that hard racing early in the race. Smedgaard had a 1-second lead at the line. He's been growing that as Cox is now dealing with Justin Kelly, who we know is so aggressive. Seems like Kelly's best corner is entering turn 3. He gets that run out of the oval and just sends it down into the corner, downshifting Abe, and that's where he seems strongest. But here he is again in the toe of that powerful V8 5.3-liter Corvette.
Yeah, absolutely. Really interesting matchup here between Corvette and S2000 or FRS here, but S2000 powered FRS.
S2000 powered FRS, so it's got a little bit of both. A transplanted heart from one of the most popular sports cars to ever exist in the chassis of another newer popular sports car. Into the braking zone for turn 3. Where is the 2nd place battle? That's Smedgaard off into 3, and we're waiting for Cox and Kelly to come into the fight. Justin Lee's picked up a spot. Savannah Little drops on down, but Eric Cattell, oh, look at this side by side for 2nd still. That's Cox on driver's right, and that's Justin Kelly on the left. Into the braking zone now. Watch the brakes glow on the FRS as he tries to rotate that car in. Right behind, he runs way wide on exit trying to get the power down.
Yeah, just not quite enough there, and not in that setup to be able to make that pass coming into that corner.
And again, he was on the wrong side of the racetrack to complete that, but right on the bumper now. Stephen Cox playing defense more than offense. They're losing so much ground to Andy Smedgaard, who's just driving off into the proverbial sunset. It left a while ago, the sun behind the mountains in the distance. But for 2nd, a raging battle in the darkness here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Justin Kelly using every trick he's got up his sleeve to try to get by this powerful V8 Corvette.
Yeah, cars stretching out here a little bit in the field. We're seeing Andy run away, running fantastic laps out in front. 102s, 103s, quite a bit faster than Cox and Kelly, who are battling each other and paying the time penalty for it.
Now Smedgaard can run his own pace here. He's got the gap that he needs to feel comfortable and not have anybody breathing down his neck. For 2nd place, it's still Cox and Kelly nose to tail as they exit turn number 3. Kelly didn't have himself in an advantageous position there, so maybe just trying to save up for another run at him. Still a long way to go, about halfway through this race. Again, another 7 minutes left, but look at the crossover at the exit. Cox runs wide. Here comes Kelly up the inside, driver's right. Door gets slammed slam, sparks flying as he jumps the curbs.
Fantastic battle.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff here. This is what GLTC is all about. Even without massive fields, we still can put on an amazing show at Pikes Peak International Raceway. Up onto the banking again. Smedgaard trying to run away from Stephen Cox, who's got Justin Kelly tucked in behind him in the slipstream, using that big Corvette as basically a wind dampener to keep the wind off the nose of that car. Justin Kelly still continues to launch that attack, but Tom O'Gorman sneaking his way up inside the top 5 after that crazy start. Still going to have to talk to him after that and see what that was all about. I wish we could get a replay of that. But look at this, side by side again. Kelly on driver's left into the braking zone. Oh, door gets slammed there. He's going to go up the inside late, downshifting, side by side through turn number 3. Can he get the power down this time?
Looks like
he does.
He's been able to get it here.
And
we've got a glitch in timing and scoring showing Tiffany Kelly running a 40-second lap on that last lap.
Yeah, that's not right. So no worries there. Tiffany Kelly is not in the race lead. It's still Andy Smedgaard. But for a second, look at Justin Kelly. He's gotten the job done way out in front of Stephen Cox, now leaving the Corvette in the dust. And now the focus is out the windshield.
Yep, and I don't know if there's enough time for him to be able to close in on Andy. He's just too far back.
Well, let's keep an eye on the lap times here. I think Smedgaard still is the quickest car of the weekend. Erica Till fought a battery fire in practice earlier today. That's why we didn't see his car. I wonder if it's another electrical issue. Look at this battle here. That's Justin Lee, Bill Griffin, and Savannah Little. This is a battle for position for 8th place. Look at Savannah Little up the inside of Bill Griffin, side by side through turn number 5. And Savannah Little in her first GLTC start, taking it to Bill Griffin in that number 46 Turner BMW, all over the back of that car. That's a Spec MX-5 prepared car to the Winding Road Racing Camp. That's a really cool series, but this car pretty well prepped for GLTC.
Is it on its power to weight?
I don't know much about this car. I just recognize the livery from that other series, but I know that Luke McGrew's car is prepped to be pretty transferable to that series as well. So this might be a popular thing that we see in the future. But there's Justin Kelly. Last time by, his time was a 1:03.671. That was the best lap that he's run, so he's still got grip. It wasn't as fast as Smedgaard, though, so still an uphill climb to get back to the front.
Yeah, I think Smedgaard now is just too far back. Battles farther back on the stream are going to be a little bit more interesting here because I don't think that Kelly has the ability to close this gap.
It's going to be really hard, but again, tomorrow it all comes down to the GLTC Top 10 shootout. We qualify the second race by sending everyone out one lap at a time. White flag is out for the race leader. There's Justin Lee side by side with Savannah Little into the braking zone for turn 5. Lee is on through. That's a 2.5 swap Ford Fusion motor in that NCMX-5. Behind him, Savannah Little in her first ever start. She is doing a great job in that car, having a blast behind Bill Griffin. A great scrap for ninth, or make that 8th place. Ryan Upham is just up the road from this group, as is Quincy Burke and an RX-8. There is Tiffany Kelly. I don't know where she is on the racetrack position-wise because of the timing issue, but she has kind of fallen out of that lead battle. I will say Smedgaard, though, wow, last time by 1:03.2, 1:03.8 for Justin Kelly. So Smedgaard still on it as he leads the way through the last sector on the course. And for Andy Smedgaard, he came up and showed up at Gingerman Raceway for the GRIDLIFE spring kickoff. He showed himself and the rest of the field that he was going to be a competitor. And for Andy Smedgaard, checkered flag going to wave as he comes on through, and it looks like, is that checkered or white? I can't tell. It looks like it might be a checkered.
Yep,
I think it is a checkered. And for Andy Smedgaard, he'll take the victory here at GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, Pikes Peak International Raceway for GRIDLIFE Alpine Horizon. He takes it. Justin Kelly, second place. Stephen Cox in third. Tom O'Gorman will come home in fourth. A wild, wild race. And even though we still got a battle here, look at this. This is Bill Griffin for 8th spot with Justin Lee and Savannah Little. She's way out. She's going to be in the dirty stuff outside of the racing line. Justin Lee looks up the middle, going to try 3 wide for a moment. No, can't do it. Bill Griffin hangs on side by side. NCMX-5's Little over the curbs. Oh, was there a touch there with Lee as they come on through turn 7?
Yeah, I thought for sure that she was going to pay a penalty for swinging that far wide, but it didn't look like it cost her anything.
And out of the final corner, Bill Griffin, can he hang on to 8th spot now with Justin Lee in behind him? Drag race to the finish line, side by side behind him. And coming to the line, I think, is that Lee or Little that got to the line first? I think it was Lee, just by a little bit. Justin Lee, Savannah Little separated by 0.2 of a second in that epic drag race to the finish. What a race, Abe. This is the coolest series in the country.
I mean, I'm a fan.
So cool. So cool.
And we were saying on the stream earlier that this track kind of lends itself well to the autocrosser type mindset. And with a SCCA national championship under his belt, Andy Smedgaard in the S2 is right at home here.
Unbelievable race by Andy Smedgaard. Justin Kelly also had a fantastic fight. Really solid, clean racing. We were 3 wide into a hairpin turn at a Roval, and we didn't touch fenders. How do you do that?
It's unbelievable racing. I think this series demands really, really clean racing. And drivers have responded and given each other respect and space when necessary, but made it so that we can watch great racing without having to do body work at the end of the weekend.